evening, everyone. Welcome to Season 2 of Songwriter Spotlight. We're so glad that you're choosing to join us again this year. We're coming to you from the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center right here in Brownsville, Tennessee, where you will find the West Tennessee Music Museum, bluesman Sleepy John Estes' home, as well as the Tina Turner Museum. And I hope that you'll visit us real soon right here off of Interstate 40 at exit 56. You can also find us here on Facebook as well as YouTube every first and third Thursday evening of the month for Songwriter Spotlight. Tonight we have a fun guest who's in the studios with us. I know that you're going to enjoy her, and I know that you're going to be smiling by the time this interview is over. Help me welcome Rae Dunn. Rae, thank you so much for being here with us tonight and for starting off the new year with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you on Songwriter Spotlight. So tell me when you got into music.
I was a little late to the game. I didn't have anyone in my family that was musical, and so I didn't actually get into music until I was about 23. Really, 25 is whenever I actually took it serious enough to move to Nashville. So that's after college. I went to college at Memphis College of Art, and one of my best friends was from Kenya, Africa, and he had a reggae band, and he was looking for background singers for his reggae band, and he came up to me and he was like, I hear you humming in the sculpture studio, and you hum on key, so I'm pretty sure you could probably sing. And I was like, well, I think I can. And I went to band practice and just really enjoyed him and the band leader, Kennard Farmer. And they kind of took me under their wing and took me to all the open mics, and I'd watch them perform and watch all the other spoken word poets and comedians and rappers, and like, I was totally out of my element. But then he was like, have you ever written anything? Why don't you try it? And I just was thinking about that. I'm an artist, I can write something. And every day whenever I'd be in the shower, I'd kind of be contemplating, like, what would I write? And actually, my first album, Arkansas Line, a song I'm gonna do here in a second, was the very first song I ever wrote. And I seriously mean that. Like, sometimes people say that, and it's like this really funky song that like they don't wanna show anybody. I just so happened to have had a good song, and I think God knew that, because if he would have gave me a bad song on my first song, I probably would have got scared and like never tried it again and thought like, okay, no, I'm not a songwriter. But he gave me a pretty good one, I thought, so I went around to all these open mics around Memphis playing it, and like everyone would come up to me and they'd always say like, okay, I don't know anything about country music, because I'm at these like spoken words, rap, comedy, like there weren't a lot of singer-songwriters there, but, and they would come up and say, I don't really know a lot about country music, but you sound like what we know as country music. At that time, the TV show Nashville was a big thing. And so a lot of times I got like, oh, you sound like those girls on Nashville, So when I was 25, after about 2 years maybe of the open mic scene, I got the courage to finally move to Nashville. And I was there about 9 months before my brother passed away. And that's what brought me back to Memphis. But it was God again, because all the doors that weren't there in Memphis the first time that I felt like, well, I'm just lost over here. They say go to Nashville, I better go. And I went. When I came back, it was like all those doors were open, and I met all these people, and something said like, no, you gotta stick around Memphis. So, been here ever since.
Are you originally from Memphis?
Well, so I'm from Eastern Arkansas. I still live in Eastern Arkansas. Aside from moving to Nashville that one time, I've always lived in Eastern Arkansas, and I'm like 35 minutes maybe from downtown Memphis. So I'm in downtown Memphis about 3-4 nights a week.
You mentioned your first song. How about playing that for us now?
Got the lovely Todd Nations over here.
Hello.
I'm from the country on the end of the Arkansas line, squeezed up right next to the Mississippi, ocean all the time, riding on four wheels on my leg, swinging up all night long. I'm from the country on the end of the Arkansas and it doesn't matter who, so long as he respects my country, red, white, and blue. We'll get a big truck full of baby, go out and pick a house. I'm from the country on the edge of the Arkansas line. I'm from the country on the edge of the Arkansas line. I love my country on the edge of the Arkansas line.
Well, what specifically inspired that song? Is that your real life?
Okay, so in college is also when I found this little AM radio station that was coming out of Memphis that was all like old school country. And like on the way to school, we listened to music in my early years, and my mom listened to like Motown and Michael Jackson and that kind of stuff. Al Green, oh my gosh, Al Green was her all-time favorite artist. And my dad would just kind of listen to 90s country, whatever, for when I was younger. But then at some point, he started listening to Bible tapes. So for the most part, I didn't listen to music on the way to school. It was Bible tapes all day, every day, which, I mean, that doesn't bother me. Like I feel like I'm more creative. I like to draw, and I draw better when there's like talking and stuff. And so, I don't know. But I found this AM radio station that was playing like all this old school country music, and I'm hearing like Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline, Hank Sr., Hank Snow, you know, all these artists that I had never known, and the music was just absolutely beautiful. And I was just craving and eating up everything that came out of the radio station. Like I would skip school to go listen to that radio station. It was so ridiculous. And it only barely came in, but these songs were like gold. I couldn't believe my friends didn't know what these songs were. Like I'd go out and buy these tapes. That was back whenever they had record stores. And so that's where I was musical. Like, and you're always kind of taken from your influences. But the biggest one to me out of all of those was Loretta Lynn. Like I had a really good mom, and there were 7 children, and my mom was one of those Loretta Lynn type moms. So I kind of gravitated towards her as a songwriter, and also because she didn't seem to take no shit from anybody, for lack of a better way to say that. But she was a good, respectable woman, but she also wasn't going to take, you know, her husband wasn't the best at times, and she wasn't going to take it. Like she was going to write a song about it and tell the world she wasn't going to leave him, but, you know, and I just respected that. And Arkansas Line is kind of my version of Coal Miner's Daughter. So her Coal Miner's Daughter, I call it a shotgun song because it's like a verse with a little refrain, verse with a little refrain. And that's kind of how Arkansas Line is, because hers is, this is me, the shotgun shack, the country ham, you know, and she's just telling this is my life. I was a coal miner's daughter. And that's Arkansas Line is, this is my life, 3 brothers, 3 sisters, I'm right in between, from the country on the edge of the Arkansas line.
What else inspires your music?
Ooh, well, obviously relationships. They inspire a lot of people's music. I love funny songs. Any kind of like goofy songs, that do-wacka-do song, like that's the weirdest song in the world, but I like that kind of stuff. And I feel like audiences need that kind of stuff, because when I play songwriter nights, sometimes I find that songwriters are a little down in the dumps a lot when they write music. And I like to be that little breath of fresh air that I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get up here and sing a stupid song about something dumb that I did, and we're all gonna laugh about it.
Well, that was quite a jump from starting out in reggae, in a reggae band, and going all the way to classic country.
So I still don't know squat about reggae music. And he forgives me for that. But yeah, it was really cool. I truly don't know a lot about reggae music. I respect it, but I don't know a lot about it. But it was kind of, because it's a little more repetitive, less storytelling, whereas the traditional country is a little more storytelling. And so I would like to think maybe somewhere I'm in the mix of that, because not all of my songs are stories. And I do feel like I kind of have a pop element, although to me it's more of an old school pop element than what would be pop country right now. Definitely nowhere near that. But I don't know. So I find it interesting, and I'm just going to keep doing it until, I don't know,
I know you have a tune that was recently released, and again, I feel like it's about your real life. How about playing that song for us?
Since Memphis is known for its soul music, we kind of tried to mix my traditional country with kind of a soul sound in this song. So this is Barber Shop, and guys, I really do work at a barber shop. If you're ever in West Memphis, come see me.
At Larry's.
Let me tell you about a place you might know, and maybe you've even been there. It's on the corner of the main road, a place all the locals know. A cup of coffee and the weekend's news. The farmers come when it's raining. All day long it's a revolving door of shades and clippers something. And it don't matter where they come from, and it don't matter where they're going. All they needed was to turn off the phone from what there ain't no way of knowing. So they come in here, they can be Casanova. They tell you tall tales, you can't believe what they told you. It all stays here when they get the little moments alone. At the barber shop, oh, ooh, oh. At the barber shop,
Whoa, ooh, whoa.
Peter Lewis comes in every week. Anytime he's not efficient, Billy Jr. has a wild idea to bring the mullet back. And Ricky stops by from the liquor store. He's bragging about all his women. I can tell, but it don't want to hear the reason that they're with me. And it don't matter where they come from, and it don't matter where they're going. All they needed was to turn off the phones from what there ain't no way of knowing. So they come in here and they can be Casanova. They tell you tall tales, you can't believe what they told you. It all stays here when they get the little moments alone. At the barber shop, oh, ooh, oh. At the barber shop, oh, ooh, oh. Does a man's heart good to open up and share his feelings? Things he wouldn't tell us all. I know, 'cause I work at the barber shop. Oh, ooh, oh. At the barber shop. Oh, ooh, oh. It don't matter where they come from. It don't matter where they're going. All they needed was to turn off the phone from what there ain't no way of knowing. So they come in here and they can be Casanova. They tell you tall tales, you can't believe what they told you. It all stays here when they get the little moment alone. At the barber shop, oh, ooh, oh. 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 Yep.
So is life in a barbershop really like that?
It is, and I love that I wrote that about actual customers. P.L. Lewis does come in and he gives us crappie fillets all the time. He's an older retired gentleman that has battled and conquered cancer. And so he just goes out to Horseshoe Lake every day and catches crappie and fillets them and freezes them in a bag and hands them to me, and Dad doesn't even want a haircut back from it. Billy Jr. is actually a customer of mine. The mullets are back. I don't know if y'all know that, but yeah, mullets are back. I wanted to fight it for a while, but they're back. And I do them with like these American flags on the side. They're atrocious, but these people love them. And then Ricky Stalls does own the liquor store, Colonial Liquor, right there on the corner. And so in the music video, it's actually filmed at my father's barber shop, so go look that up on YouTube. And it's all of us in there dancing. Now those actual characters were too shy when it came time for camera. They never knew I was gonna write them in the song. But it's a really good video. You'll have to go check that out. It's probably my funnest video.
Well, let's give an official introduction to Todd.
Yes. So guys, this is Todd Nations, and he's actually my bass player. He plays a stand-up bass in my band, and Andrew Cabigo's usually my lead guitar player, then Justin Walker is my drummer. But lately, Todd and I have been picking up a lot of duo shows, and he plays guitar for his band, Shuffle Grit. So that's kind of how he came here today with me.
And she comes and sings with us a bunch.
I do.
So, yeah,
I harmonize with his band.
We hang around.
So Amber Rae, you really do actually play some guitar yourself, right?
Minimally enough to accompany myself on songs that I have written. But as you saw earlier, the finger snaps, that's what I started out with. Whenever I'd go to all these open mics in Memphis, I would just sing these songs for years, for like 5 years. I sang songs at open mics, finger snaps. I even got booked at a couple songwriter nights. I opened for a rapper, finger snapping. And I said, are you sure you know what you're getting into? But he was really cool about it. And before I met Todd and Andrew and all these guys, that's all I did, because I could hold my own, I could hold the key, but I just couldn't play anything. So now I can play a little bit.
Well, tell us about the next song that you're going to play. What inspired it?
Yeah, so before I bought my house, I lived in a duplex. And I'm a country girl. So I'm like stuffed up in this tiny little duplex, and I love plants. So I plant a couple plants, and then I kept planting a couple more plants, and then a couple more plants, and I'm in pots, and I'm maxed out pots. So finally I decided it wouldn't be that bad if I kind of like a little bitty strip of garden bed. That'd be fine. Flower bed. And although that was garden bed, because it had everything, and it wasn't just flowers. It had banana trees as tall as the duplex was, and it was 2-story. But, and my landlord, I'd go over there every time to pay rent, and he's like, Amber, did you plant some more plants? And I'm like, maybe, like, I swear I'll dig them up whenever I leave, because I want my plants. Like, you're not going to get my plants. And I did. Whenever I got my house, I dug them up. But I wrote this song before that, and this song is just a funny little song about my duplex and how my landlord was not a fan. Anyways, it's called Duplex Garden. Black-eyed peas on the vine, apple trees of several kinds, turnip greens and one little patch of green melons. I got tomato plants, both big and small, cucumbers crawling up the wall, onions growing wild, and I just let it. The landlord thinks it's excessive, but I think it's impressive. Sorry. So pardon my little bitty duplex garden. I got sunflowers about as tall as me, lavender for the bumblebees, hummingbirds and butterflies for pollination. I got blackberries in a big old patch. You like homemade jam? Well, I'll make you a batch. Little pot of mint for relaxation. The landlord thinks it's excessive, but I think it's impressive, because I know it is. So pardon my little bitty duplex garden. Oh, I know my little house ain't really big, so come winter time, well, they all ain't gonna fit. We're getting about that time now. But they're my babies, so I'll keep the ones I can. Oh, and Mr. Landlord, well, he just don't understand. got lettuce leaves in a big old bowl, where two little toads had done dug 'em a hole. 'Cause all of God's creations are welcome in my oasis. Of course, the neighbors think I done lost my mind. The city's hit me with a big old fine. They ain't big fans of mine, and that's their basis. My landlord thinks it's excessive, but I think it's impressive. So pardon my little bitty duplex garden. The landlord thinks it's excessive, but damn if it ain't impressive. Pardon my little bitty duplex garden. Oh, I said pardon my little bitty duplex garden.
Well, in your songwriting process, does the tune just kind of pop in your mind, or do you kind of pick it out on the guitar first?
So I wrote that on guitar. None of the songs, any of these other songs, I did not write on guitar. So I just kind of hear melodies and lyrics in my head, and I snap, and if I remember them the next day, I know those were good words and good melodies. Don't necessarily have to write them down or anything like that. I feel a little more in a box when I have a guitar because I'm limited to what I know. So that is not my preferred way of songwriting. But I do it, and I have done it, and I like some of those songs too. But I just love, there's one I just started the other day, and I love it. So I came to the guitar, and I was trying to find how to play this song, and for the life of me, there are some chords there that I'm like, crap. You know, and it's just like, okay, get the guitar out of here. Let's just go to what we know, because I know this is a song. It makes sense. But now, sometimes that is a little hard for my guitar player, because sometimes when I bring him a song, he'll say, you can't do that. Like you, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the song. It has to do that, you know? And so we have this little back and forth, and he always compromises for me.
So does how long does it take you from start to finish on a song?
It really depends. I love the 10-minute songs. I don't get those that often. I tend to write funny little verses, like maybe like a first verse, or mostly choruses. I feel like the chorus is kind of the lighter hearted part of the song, or the easier as far as lyric wise. Melody, it might not be easier. Sometimes, most of the time, melody it is too. I don't know, it's more the catchy part, and I feel like that part's a little bit easier for me. Now the verses, I kind of think are the meat of the song. That's the story. That's what you're trying to say. And for me, that's a little bit harder. A lot of times my mind will give me that quick little chorus, and it's this fun little like ditty that I want to sing over and over and over. But then my mind's like, oh, that's all I got. Like, oh, there's no story behind that. You know, and I'm like, crap, there's a story behind this. Which way do we want to go? And it's very frustrating.
Well, tell folks where they can find more of your music and how they can follow you online.
Yes, so Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Play, like all of the major distribution platforms. It's on that. Arkansas Line was the first album, and I think there was 11 songs there. And then I started this new project with a producer in Nashville, and there are 5 of those out, one of which just came out, and I'm super excited about this. It's supposed to be maybe 10 songs. We're at 9 right now, and we were gonna maybe release 5 as singles and then the album. We're not exactly sure. We're kind of playing it by ear, but this is my first time doing music videos, and I've done a music video for every single one of them, and I'm super excited. I'm totally into music videos now. For the longest time, I didn't want to be on camera. Like, I'm not an actor. I don't know what to do. What do you do with your hands, you know? But now I've kind of gotten into it, and I'm really enjoying it. And so everything can be found through Amber Rae Dunn. Like, literally, you can Google Amber Rae Dunn. That's Amber, A-M-B-E-R, Rae, R-A-E, Dunn, D-U-N-N. And my Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook is at Amber Rae Dunn. My email is amberraydunn@gmail.com. I just tried to make it as easy as possible. I have no nicknames. I'm not that cool.
Let's get Todd back in here for another song and tell me the story behind this particular song.
So I dated a guy, and he had these beautiful blue eyes, and that's kind of how this song came about. Although my husband has green eyes, and he swears that the only reason I haven't made it is because I haven't written a song about a guy with green eyes. It could be right.
Might be.
Yeah, there's gonna be the day when I write that song. But yeah, this is called Deep Blue, and it's just kind of a cute little ditty about where I was at that time and the kind of man I was looking for.
I turn it down.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Brown eyes don't face me, and green eyes ain't too bad, but hazel eyes, they remind me of a certain lover that I once had. But now I met this boy the other day, and I don't really know what to do. He had the most beautiful eyes, so deep, deep blue. They deep, deep blue, like a bluebird on the sea. They deep, deep blue, like the ocean's always will. See, I met this boy and I fell in love and don't know what to do. He had the most beautiful eyes, so deep, deep blue. Now sometimes I wonder if I'll ever meet a man that could treat me like my father, because all that he can. So now I fell in love the other day, not knowing yet what he could do. Fell in those beautiful eyes, so deep, deep blue. They's deep, deep blue, like a bluebird on the sea. They's deep, deep blue, like the ocean's always will. So you met this boy and I fell in love and don't know what to do. Yeah, the most beautiful eyes, so deep, deep blue. Fun nations, everybody.
Bass player.
Play like a bass player. Yeah, they's deep, deep blue, like a bluebird on the sea. They's deep, deep blue, like the ocean's always will. See, I met this boy and I fell in love and I don't know what to do. Yeah, the most beautiful eyes, damn most beautiful eyes. Yeah, the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. Of deep, deep blue.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. I know that you have enjoyed Amber Rae. I can almost see you smiling out there. Please follow her on social media and plan to see her in person soon. And plan to be back here with us in 2 weeks for another Songwriter Spotlight. Amber, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing your music and your stories. And thanks for bringing Todd. What are y'all going to play us out on?
Yes, okay, so this is actually, the only thing I have about this song is really it came about with that, you know, that old school, like 60s song, Ain't No Valley, Ain't No River Wide Enough to Keep Me From Getting to You. I was listening to that one day because I love that kind of music. And I was thinking, well, what if you climbed the mountain and you crossed the valley and you swam the river, and like, what if you still can't get that person, you know? And I was just like in my feels because at the time, you know, I was going through that and couldn't figure out how to snag him. So I wrote this song about that situation.
This is a fun one when we have the whole band.
Yeah, it's
this
called,
is always, we always kind of close on this. Or
Yeah, we do. It's a very fun one. It's called Mountain High.